many of you have heard of Jabil? Everyone. So I'll try to move through the overview quickly. Jabil, we're a global manufacturer. So we turn our customers' ideas into products. We manufacture all kinds of stuff. Things you probably didn't realize that we're manufacturing. Things that you're probably using right now or today. We're involved. We're part of a diverse set of industries, from healthcare through energy. We like to say we're the name behind 250 of the best brands in the world. We joke around at the office and say we're probably one of the largest companies you've never heard of. To do this, to be a part of all of these industries, we have a broad set of capabilities, from precision manufacturing to 3D printing for rapid prototyping. Jabil, we're about 50 years old, so we've been around for a while. We're the world's third largest manufacturer. We have about 37 million square feet in terms of manufacturing space across the globe, and 180,000 employees. And that fluctuates depending on ramp up of new products that we're manufacturing. The majority of our manufacturing is done in Asia, but we do have manufacturing sites in Americas and Europe. What that means is through this global position, we're capable of providing our customers cost-effective manufacturing solutions, while also leveraging our supply chain to enable our customers. We're about an $18 billion in revenue a year organization. I think we're up to about $18.4 billion a year for this fiscal year. So a strong company. We've been around for some time. And with that, in terms of that type of revenue, that means we have a lot of challenges in terms of taking the data we're getting from every site to capitalize on how we're making decisions in terms of financial decision making. So we're a low margin organization. A lot of our manufacturing is in terms of volume, in terms of how we make money or how we turn in a profit. So that means we need to constantly be on top of how well we're performing from a financial perspective, partnering with our business and our operations to make sure we can take care of our customers as well as Jabil's bottom line. So we are a publicly traded company, so we also have to upload to our shareholder. So I'm going to cover a little bit about our analytics journey within finance. Our mission is to unlock the potential of data, people, and technology, right? In terms of making sure we can provide high-value decision-making across the organization. So being in finance, we have an interesting seat in the house. How it works at Jabil today is we may talk to a customer, right? They come to Jabil and say, we need to manufacture 1 million of these units. How can you help us? From there, the person responsible for working that with our customer is sort of the lead. They're the entrepreneur of this new business. And they'll have to work with folks in Jabil in terms of how we're going to best manufacture that product. How can we deliver it to the customer that they have across the globe and come up with a business plan around it. So finance comes in and they'll make sure it's financially sound. We're able to meet our customers' demand as well as Jabil's bottom line. And Jabil is a bank. They will fund that business if it makes financial sense. If not, right, we'll make a decision. As part of this journey, data quality is of utmost importance. Similar to manufacturing, in order to provide the best quality product to our customers, we need to obtain the highest quality of materials. And so that's how we feel in terms of data. So this sort of launched a new initiative to address some of our data challenges and how do we provide a higher quality data set so we can make better decisions, find patterns that we couldn't identify in the past. So this is sort of the beginning of Jabil. Back in 2008, this was our reporting state. So I'm sure this might look familiar to a lot of you who've seen this maybe at your own organization. So we had many ERPs, SAP.
You need more Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah. we had many spreadsheets, yeah. So we had SAP, Mass 500, other ERPs from acquisitions that we've had, right? And maybe we have identified we didn't want to roll them into SAP for maybe just financial reasons. And spreadsheets everywhere. So we take all of our source system data, load them, download them into a spreadsheet. Analysts all over the globe will consolidate that information, link it into more spreadsheets, and then eventually go provide additional reports, which could be more spreadsheets in Microsoft Word. And this information was being shared with our executives, right? The way we can perform in the next year, 2, 3, 4 years. Okay. So we knew we had to address this. This is sort of how it looks like today. So we took that challenge and we worked with IBM and used IBM's Cognos BI products, TM1, Cognos Controller, to address some of those data challenges. So our ERP systems will now load data into TM1 and Cognos Controller. From there, we're able to address our management reporting challenges. So we're able to provide from a forecast perspective as well as an analysis perspective, understand what's going on at our sites as well as our customers' P&Ls. And we had Cognos Controller for external reporting, and Cognos BI sits on top, right, providing additional reporting and analysis as well as sort of an ad hoc self-service way to explore the information. So this whole initiative was what our CFO calls inverting the triangle. So what we first addressed in that previous slide of our 2008 state was that the majority of the time was being spent in that lower part of the triangle, data preparation, getting the data together, getting it cleaned up in a way so we can even perform some type of analysis. And by the time all that data is prepared, right, making that decision might be out of the door, right? We might be late to the game. So we wanted to change that, flip the triangle, invert it, spend less time on preparing our data, more time on high value add activities. We saw a lot of benefits out of it. We're able to close our books from 10 business days down to 4 business days. So what that means is on business day 5 of a month, we know exactly how well we performed across the globe, and we're able to start making decisions and provide guidance to our business. For one of our divisions, we were able to save about 400 days in a year in terms of time being spent previously on just preparing data in order to provide reports. In terms of BI, we were able to save about 377 days of time alone. So that's real savings to our organization. And that's just the first part of it. Now that we've reduced that time being spent on preparing data, there's a lot to reap from spending more time on what we've learned with that data. So in that journey, we've identified that to be successful with our analytics projects, right, we needed to align our people, our tools, and our data together. We've identified the key processes where we wanted to focus our analytics journey on, and that's through management reporting and financial reporting, as well as getting the information to our BUs and ops. We're using, in terms of tools, TM1, Controller, BI. We're also using Pega for workflow management and business process management, SPSS for predictive modeling, and Cafe as a front-end tool for our users to explore information within TM1 and BI. Spend a lot of time on data quality initiatives, making sure our master data is aligned to what's in our ERP systems, as well as what we're loading into TM1, as well as other systems. We have over 200 systems across Jabil who leverage our master data management platform. After we took our TM1, our Excel data, we got rid of those Excel spreadsheets, at least some of those Excel spreadsheets. There's still Excel around finance. And we were able to standardize the data, get it loaded in the process into TM1, build BI reports against TM1 and Cognos Controller. But we recognize that in terms of analytics, there are a few key avenues that we needed to address. Right? So this is just a quick summary of our analytics journey, how we've evolved over time. So in 2008, we had about 2,500 users leveraging TM1 across the globe. We were closing our books for a month on business day 9, meaning data was available to start making decisions and understanding what happened the previous month on business day 10. And we were able to start building out our analytics library foundation of how do we start understanding what happened. This past year, or a couple years, we're able to address some of, or make some improvements in terms of our financial close process. So we're able to bring down our financial close down to business day 4, meaning now our users have data by business day 5, so they can start making decisions faster. In addition, we've been able to deploy more applications within TM1 and BI. We've got about 7,000 users now leveraging our systems, and we're spreading about 6,000 reports a quarter. So we've seen a lot of benefit since this conversion into IBM Cognos. Our vision is for, by 2020, we'd like to address this mission to build out a smart finance organization. And to us, what that means is automation, using more predictive modeling, right? And build out a single pane of glass where we can combine not only financial information but non-financial information in one screen for our users to really get a good feel, a good understanding of what's going on in Jabil and what are the impacts between different metrics across the organization. So why should visualizing data be a key part in your strategy? And why did we make it a key part in our strategy? So first, to address that, what is data visualization? So I thought this was a good description of data visualization. Right? It's the use of visual representations, right, to explore and make sense of and communicate data. And why do we visualize data? First task, we want to explore. We want to search and identify new findings. So the goal is to discover what we didn't know. Second task would be sense making, examining what makes sense of the data. Right? Improve our understanding of what occurred or what's going to occur so we can make better decisions. The last task is communication, right? Conveying what we've learned, what we've gained from exploring and understanding so that others can make informed decisions with you. So we had a lot of discussions when we first tried to push our finance organization to shift from being sort of a typical accounting type of point of view to more of building up their analytical acumen. So we had to sell them on why visualizations are better than traditional data tables, right? Most accountants, their response typically to us is, just show me the numbers. I can understand it. Give me the data, and I'll be able to figure out what I need to do with it. So it took some time to really share the benefits of visualizations, such as through visualizations, you're able to see the bigger picture that you wouldn't see by just looking at a spreadsheet of numbers. And with a visualization, with a visual depiction, you're able to readily compare values. You're able to see patterns that you couldn't see before, and then compare those patterns. So this is a common example of, you may have seen this before. It's often used to explain why visualizations are beneficial and why you should leverage visualizations to get a better understanding of your data. So, has anyone seen this example before? No? Yeah. So, Anscombe's quartet. Anscombe is a mathematician. He had this example where there are 4 different data sets, right? And each of these 4 data sets, when you summarize it, they have the same statistics. Yeah. So when you take a mean of each data set, it all comes out to 9. When you take a variance, they all come out to 11. So statistically, they're all pretty much the same data set in terms of as a result. But when you graph it, they're all different. So it isn't until you visualize this data, this information, where you recognize what is actually going on in that data and start gaining some insight of what that data is trying to tell you. Also, data tables are fun, or visualizations are fun. So I found this on a great website called The Functional Art, thefunctionalart.com. Definitely recommend it. I follow Alberto Harold often. A lot of good information there. So once we bought into why visualizations are important for us, we started to build out how we're going to share these visualizations with the organization, how we're going to build up this analytical acumen across the organization. So from a tools perspective, we came up with the goal, right? We want to deliver flexible analytics. We want to be a one-stop shop for our users. We want to keep reports simple and clean. We don't want to confuse anyone. And we want to just cover 70 to 80% of the financial questions that we've seen today. So with that in mind, we came up with this content folder structure, and we produced about 200 reports within IBM Cognos BI. Our reports were structured based on chart type or visualization type to make it easier for our users to identify the chart or visualization they needed for the analysis they're looking to perform. Through that, our users took off. They built out 1,500 of their own analyses using a tool called Cognos Workspace, which is like a self-service tool where a user can come in and create their own dashboard and analysis. And once they started building out their own analysis, we found that we could standardize some of the views they're creating and share it with the rest of the organization. So we created these standardized dashboards to support capacity analysis, inventory analysis. So how we organize our visualizations, we came up with these traits. So we identified that a lot of people want to perform what we call a position analysis. So one point in time. Right? So how well am I performing in terms of revenue for this month? How well am I performing in terms of profitability for the year? We created a trend trait, which was multiple periods across time, a variance compared to two different points of time or two different scenarios, a correlation, so comparing multiple variables over time, and a waterfall. Waterfall is similar to like a variance comparison, so it's comparing two different points in time when a better view of what is making up that variance all in one visual story. So here are a few examples. So in terms of a position report or a position visualization, we created a bubble chart. So a bubble chart does a great job at showing a lot of information in one visualization. You're able to show 3 different variables for one point in time, allowing your users to gain a lot of insight and compare what's going on in the data. So in this top left corner, if you were to analyze this, what first jumps out at you?
The little dot.
The little dot. There's 2 things that jump out at me. The little dot
and the big
one. What's going on?
The little dot can be good or bad.
For variance type of analyses, we often use what we call a waterfall chart. So a waterfall chart is a great visualization. We use it often as an organization, probably the most often used visualization at Jabil. I mean, our executives use this quite often. And what it allows you to do is really compare 2 different points of time or 2 different scenarios really quickly and get a good understanding of what is causing that variance, whether good or bad. So here, you can take a look at this, and what we typically do is we'll sort what we call the movements, what makes up the variance between the starting point to the ending point, and we'll sort it by the largest variances first. So a user can come in and really understand and focus on the left to really get a good feel of what's driving that variance. And then within this visualization, they're able to drill down and dig in to get a better understanding of what's making up the different movements causing that variance. We use trend charts very often, so in my opinion, the best way to show a trend is through a line. And within this line chart, we're able to compare our historical actual performance quarter through quarter with our latest forecast of our performance, as well as various forecasts or scenarios that we've planned throughout the year. That's driving those 3 other lines. So there you can start looking really quick to get a better feel of what's changing through my scenarios while we're forecasting, what might be causing an arch or a dip at the tail end, right? And start asking the right questions. And then correlation analysis, we'll use a scatter plot chart. So you can quickly dig in to understand, compare multiple variables for a point in time or multiple points in time. So in this correlation, on the y-axis, we're looking at DSO, and our x-axis is AP days. So typically you want to drive down your AP days, right? You want to pay people, or you want to drive up your AP days. You want to pay people as late as possible, but you want to bring in money as quickly as possible, right? So here you can start understanding what's happening at a given quarter, right? Focus in on what happens on the highest point. So it sort of offset itself. And then focusing on that lowest point in the bottom left corner. And start asking the business the right questions. What did we do wrong, or what did we do right? Right? You can't just focus on the wrong. You have to learn from what you're doing right too. Once we've established all these standardized visualizations, and we went through a series of education with the organization on how to interpret this information. I mean, looking back now, maybe 8-10 years ago, I think visualizations were pretty new to people. Right? You see it more often now, but a lot of people really don't understand how to interpret what they're looking at. It's something that takes practice. Even as a professional, you really should be looking at visualizations every day and critiquing the visualizations you're looking at to understand how could you improve on them and gain those skills. So we have these assets now, these visual assets that our users can create. So we've recognized now we can create dashboards. We can create these package-style, analytical, focused reports that our users can leverage across the organization. So this is an example of our rates comparison dashboard. So here, we use that as a benchmarking tool. This allows our sites to compare their current DL and IL rates to other sites and understand why are they above or below the average. So using those dots, a site controller can come in and really understand where they stand across other sites in the organization and start asking questions on why the data might look different across in comparison to other manufacturing plants. Also, in the bottom, you'll see the use of bar charts. These bar charts really allow a user to quickly compare across different bars and isolate and identify what is that largest bar or what is that lowest bar. We often use what we call Marimekko visualizations. Has anyone seen this type of visualization before? So we use Marimekko often. I mean, quickly, what is in terms of, I didn't put the metric because a lot of this financial information is sensitive. But so what is the largest negative variance that you see here? JGP. Right? It pops out. It's really easy to interpret. In terms of segments, what's driving the biggest variance? It takes a second to really understand how to interpret a Marimekko, but once you do, they're actually very powerful. So the DMS segment. And this is another example of a dashboard we created. So this is our supply chain dashboard. So here we're using a Pareto visualization. As a manufacturer, we practice Lean Six Sigma. Using Pareto charts is a common practice in Lean methodology. So the idea is you want to focus on the 80% of your problem, right? or the smallest percentage of your problem, or typically within the 80% range. You don't want to focus on that 20%. So within the Pareto visualization, you can really start identifying what are where is your price variances in terms of your customer mix. I had to hide the customer name, so you're seeing part of the information. So it might be hard to interpret this. But the general idea is you can identify what's the 80%, focus in on those customers, and address those challenges quickly. And then our bottom chart provides a trend analysis. So you can see the mix as it changes over time. So those were the examples that I had shared today. I've been doing this for some time, and when I met Convergence at Strategy World, mentioned that they started up this Data Analytics Meetup. I was really interested in coming in and sharing a little bit about what Jabil does. I love to meet other data professionals. So even after this, please, if you ever want to chat about what you're doing, and we can make balanced ideas off of each other. It was great. Thanks.